Attention, students of ICSE Class 9 and 10 and Intermediate First Year. Do subscribe to Study with Sudhir YouTube channel where we cover English literature, history, civics, geography, biology and English grammar and many important motivational videos too. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you can get regular updates.
Hello friends and welcome to Study with Sudhir, your digital classroom. We are looking at history and I want to tell you that you need to look at the video right till the end, because what I do is to give you a lot of tips on what could actually come as a question in your examination paper, either in section A as a 2-mark question and also in section B as a 3-mark or a 4-mark question. So you need to pay attention, you need to be there right through the video and not try to skip it through parts, because that way you would not be able to get the entire flow. One of the other points which I have been told that is I speak very fast, so you're not able to take down notes. So please press the pause button whenever you need to stop, take down notes, but that's the way you would actually be able to help yourself understand the story in history that much better. तो इसका प्रयास कीजिए. भाग 1 में हमने जो सेकेंड फेज ऑफ द नेशनल मूवमेंट के भाग 1 में हमने असर्टिव नेशनलिस्ट के बारे में देखा, सूरत स्प्लिट के बारे में समझा. अभी हम नजर डालेंगे द राइज ऑफ असर्टिव नेशनलिज्म के क्या कारण थे, व्हाट वर द कॉजेज फॉर द राइज ऑफ असर्टिव नेशनलिज्म, उस पर नजर डालेंगे. और इसके साथ साथ व्हाट वर द मेथड्स दैट दे अडॉप्टेड एंड व्हाट वाज देयर मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव. इन तीनों चीजों पर हम नजर डालेंगे in part 2 of this chapter. It's a 3-part way of my doing this very rather longish chapter. But before I start with this chapter, may I remind you, you need to subscribe to the channel, also press on the bell icon, also like and share it among all your friends and classmates. So let's get started. The main causes which led to the rise of assertive nationalism was first the recognition of the true nature of the British rule, because as opposed to the early nationalists who felt that the British rulers were actually nice people, but only that they did not understand the true nature of circumstances on the ground in India. Assertive nationalism के ग्रोथ का एक प्रमुख कारण ये था कि लोगों को, भारतीयों को ये समझ में आ गया द ट्रू नेचर ऑफ द ब्रिटिश रूलर्स, स्पेशली विद रेस्पेक्ट टू द Partition of Bengal in 1905. Now the efforts made by the early nationalist leaders through their writings, through their agitations in England in particular and petitions to the British government exposed the true nature character of the British rule in India, because यहाँ पे कुछ हो नहीं रहा था, यहाँ पर जो वे चाहते थे वही करते थे. And it was felt that the British rule was responsible for the economic ruin of India and her growing poverty. मैंने पहले के एक वीडियो में भी आपसे ये बात कही थी कि there is a very well written book by Congress MP from Thiruvananthapuram, Shashi Tharoor, on the manner in which the Britishers actually exploited India. And you may want to just go through that book, because it actually gives you a lot of nuggets of information, those of you who are really interested in that part of Indian history. Now, some of the political events from 1892 to 1905, like the reduction in the number of Indian members in the Calcutta Corporation, the other restrictions, etc., only increase that feeling of the true nature of the British rule. दूसरा था the failure of the early nationalists, and that is an important cause for the rise of assertive nationalism. Now, the younger elements within the Congress were dissatisfied with the achievements of the early nationalists, and they strongly criticized the methods of very peaceful constitutional agitation जो कि early nationalists जिस तरीके में early nationalists विश्वास करते थे. The assertive nationalists accused the early nationalists of limiting their activities to the middle class of society. तो कि सिर्फ जो मिडिल क्लास था और जो एजुकेटेड क्लास था उन्हीं तक सीमित रह गया था और बाकी लोगों में एक तरह से ये फैला नहीं था. The third reason was the worsening economic condition. The evil economic consequences of foreign rule were exposed towards the end of the 19th century when there were famines, especially in Bengal, which ravaged India from 1896 to 1900 and took a toll on over 90 lakh lives. 90 lakh people had died because of the famine. उसमें सबसे प्रमुख था the famine of Bengal. और उसी समय पर जैसा हमने पहले के चैप्टर में पढ़ा है, उसी समय पर क्वीन विक्टोरिया का जो एक्सेशन हुआ गद्दी पे, उसके लिए दिल्ली में एक बहुत बड़ा समारोह का आयोजन किया गया था लॉर्ड लिटन द्वारा. तो एक तरह से द ब्रिटिशर्स की प्रायोरिटीज अलग थी, वे अपने बारे में ही सोचते थे, उसका एक तरह से अंदाजा भारतीयों को काफी हद तक हो गया था. एंड द वर्सनिंग इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन ऑफ द पीपल एंड द अनजस्ट एंड रिप्रेसिव पॉलिसीज ऑफ द ब्रिटिश प्रोवाइडेड ए कंजीनियल एटमॉस्फेयर फॉर द ग्रोथ ऑफ असर्टिव नेशनलिज्म. सो भारतीयों को लगने लग गया कि सिर्फ एक मॉडरेट अप्रोच से ब्रिटिशर्स हमको स्वराज नहीं देंगे, इसके लिए एक मोर एग्रेसिव रवैये की, एक अग्रेसिव अप्रोच की ज्यादा जरूरत है. एंड दैट लेड टू द राइज ऑफ असर्टिव नेशनलिज्म. इसके साथ साथ द फोर्थ रीजन वाज ग्रोइंग कॉन्शियसनेस अमंग इंडियंस. भारतीयों में एक तरह से ये आभास हो गया था, एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग अरोज दैट द नेशनलिस्ट राइटर्स एंड एजिटेटर्स ब्लेम द ब्रिटिश रूल फॉर द पॉवर्टी ऑफ द पीपल. लीडर्स ऑफ दिस न्यू आइडियोलॉजी मेड ऑल एफर्ट्स टू डेवलप सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट एंड सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस अमंग द पीपल. एंड इसमें नेता थे जैसे औरबिंदो घोष, बाल गंगाधर तिलक, लाला लाजपत राय, बिपिन चंद्रपाल. And Bipin Chandrapal said that self-help and self-sacrifice is the real force in the field of nationalism. कि हर आदमी, हर औरत अपनी खुद की मदद करे और इससे एक तरह से राष्ट्रवाद को ज्यादा बढ़ावा मिलेगा, उसको प्रोत्साहन ज्यादा मिलेगा. It will really encourage the feeling of nationalism. Then there also the need for mass action. Swami Vivekananda said that the hope of India is from the masses, whereas the early nationalists confined themselves only to the middle class. So the assertive nationalists wanted to expand it and involve the masses of India in this entire independence movement, the freedom movement. The upper classes are physically and morally dead. So Swami Vivekananda used very harsh words to say that the upper class and the middle class, the upper classes are physically and morally dead, whereas the real force for desire for freedom will actually come from the masses of India. Then the influence of international events, जो विश्व में उस समय पर किस तरह की घटनाएं घट रही थी, उसका भी असर यहाँ पर assertive nationalism, assertive nationalist के growth पे उसका असर हुआ. Assertive nationalism was inspired by some international events. For the first time, Japan, which is an Asian country, it defeated Russia. Italian forces were defeated by the Abyssinians in Ethiopia. So जो प्रमुख यूरोपियन पावर्स थी, जैसे रशिया हो या इटली हो, उनको जो दूसरे राष्ट्र थे, उन्होंने उनको युद्ध में उनको पराजय का मुंह दिखाया. इन साउथ अफ्रीका द बोर्स fought for 3 years against the British Empire. In Ireland, people were waging a full-scale home rule agitation. So these events actually led the people of India to believe that the Britishers can also be defeated. They are not invincible. The Europeans are not invincible. Then of course the growth of education and unemployment. The number of educated Indians increased considerably by the close of the 19th century and the early part of the 20th century, but large number of them were either unemployed और या उनको नौकरी मिलती थी बहुत ही कम salaries पर, बहुत ही कम तनख्वाह पर. Otherwise they were largely unemployed. Then the ill treatment of Indians abroad. Now Indians had helped the British to develop their colonies in other parts of the world, but everywhere except in, especially in South Africa, Indians were subjected to racial discrimination. और यही हुआ था महात्मा गांधी के साथ, जिसकी वजह से उन्होंने वहां पर आंदोलन किया और वापस भारत आए 1915 में. They were denied the right to vote and could not enter the hotels, clubs, buses or railway coaches which were reserved for the whites. So whites के लिए रेलवे कोचेस हो, होटल्स हो, रेस्टोरेंट्स हो, बसेस हो, वहां पर एक तरह से अलग रिजर्वेशन की जाती थी और वहां पर नॉन वाइट्स को अंदर आने की अनुमति नहीं थी. The discriminatory treatment meted out to the Indians in British colonies was resented by the Indians, and that also led to the rise of assertive nationalism. नवा कारण है, a school of nationalism had existed in the country from almost the beginning of the national movement. Okay, so these leaders, and again the same assertive nationalist leaders were the ones who were leading this also, they considered no personal sacrifice too great for the sake of the country. कि कोई भी बड़ी sacrifice is not something so significant so long as it is for the well-being and progress of the country. So they declared Swaraj or independence as the goal of the national movement and directed all their energy towards achieving this particular goal. Then the 10th reason, and this is the most important reason, the repressive policies adopted by Lord Curzon, who was viceroy for 6 years. Now his rule was full of repressive measures, और ये 3 पॉइंट हैं जिसका कि आपको याद रखना जरूरी है. पहला तो ये हुआ एक्ट ऑफ 1898. एक्ट ऑफ 1898 में इट मेड इट एन ऑफेंस टू प्रोवोक पीपल अगेंस्ट द ब्रिटिश. अगर आप भारतीयों को अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ भड़काते हैं तो दैट बिकेम एन ऑफेंस. देन दूसरा, द कैलकाटा कॉर्पोरेशन एक्ट ऑफ 1899 which reduced the strength of elected members from India, thereby giving the British a majority. Okay, and तीसरा हुआ the Official Secrets Act. Then चौथा, the Indian Universities Act of 1904, which imposed strict official control over Indian universities because Lord Curzon saw them as centers of nationalism. So all this also created a lot of resentment in India. Calcutta Corporation Act, Official Secrets Act, the Indian Universities Act of 1904, and the Act of 1898, which made it an offense to provoke people against the British rulers. And the 11th and another very important reason, of course, which we have already read, is the Partition of Bengal. We have read about what the official reason given was, but what the Indian national leaders really saw and understood what the real reasons for that was, and that also played a big part in the rise of assertive nationalism. Now, what was the main objective of this assertive nationalists? Their main objective was the attainment of Swaraj. Simple and straight, that's what they wanted, nothing else. Now, what were the methods which were adopted by the assertive nationalists in order to attain Swaraj? Now, they gave new slogans like non-cooperation, passive resistance, mass agitation, self-reliance. These were the four slogans which they gave, which we will go through to understand what each one of them meant. Swadeshi, what it meant, we have read that in the Mahatma Gandhi chapter also, but we will just go through it because that was read it in a very Gandhian kind of an approach. We will read it here from the approach of what the assertive nationalists really thought about it. Now, Swadeshi means producing necessary items in one's own country and boycott of foreign goods. Right? So, the Swadeshi idea was popularized by the occasional bonfires of foreign cloth, salt and sugar. कि foreign goods का बहिष्कार करो, उसको जलाओ और स्वदेशी को इस्तेमाल करो जो भारत के अंदर ही उसका निर्माण किया गया हो. दूसरा, the boycott. The Swadeshi and boycott are two sides of the same coin, as I have explained earlier. Tilak said, when you accept Swadeshi, you must boycott foreign goods. The economic boycott of British goods and the use of Swadeshi was designed to encourage Indian industries. जो भारतीय उद्योग हैं, बड़े उद्योग हो या small scale industries हो, उनको बढ़ावा देने के लिए, उनको प्रोत्साहन देने का काम किया था boycott of foreign goods ने, and provide the people with more opportunities for employment, because otherwise employment was not available even for the educated Indians, right? Then the third one was national education. A national scheme of education was planned, which was to replace that of government controlled universities and colleges. A large number of national schools were established in East Bengal, and there was also the Pachappa National College in Chennai, जो कि तब मद्रास के नाम से जाना जाता था, the Bengal National College in Kolkata, and the DAV movement also led to this setting up of a large number of educational institutions. And efforts were also made to give education a national orientation in the vernacular languages. ऐसा ना हो कि सिर्फ इंग्लिश या हिंदी में हो, बल्कि काफ़ी सारे जो प्रांतीय भाषाएं हो उसमें भी स्कूलों को, कॉलेजों का सेटअप करने के लिए एक तरह से उनको प्रोत्साहन दिया गया. चौथा था passive resistance. Now, the assertive leaders believed in adopting the policy of non-violent resistance. So, this is in a way the precursor to what Mahatma Gandhi did starting from 1915 onwards when he returned to India. The assertive nationalists believed in adopting the policy of non-violent resistance and vigorous political action to achieve their aims. They believed that political rights could not be won by an organization which could not distinguish between begging rights and claiming them. So, they advocated courage, self-confidence and a spirit of sacrifice in order to achieve their goal of Swaraj. So, इसमें what are the kind of methods used as part of passive resistance? एक तो था revivalism. Revivalism में था कि they revived self-respect by referring to India's past glory, right? Tilak revived the Shivaji festival in 1895. शिवाजी, चंद्रगुप्त, विक्रमादित्य, राणा प्रताप वगैरह को नेशनल हीरोज के रूप में उनका सम्मान किया जाने लगा. To tell the people about what they did, personal sacrifices, mass movement. The other important thing which you may need to know is the differences between the early nationalists and the assertive nationalists. So there are 6 differences which are put here as a table. I'll just go through them, and it's important for you to know the differences between the two, again which can come as a 3 or 4 mark question. The early nationalists wanted to achieve self-government and they strove for autonomy within the empire and not for absolute independence. Whereas assertive nationalists चाहते थे कि हमको स्वराज ही मिले and the way it existed in the United Kingdom or several of its colonies, but essentially they were looking for Purna Swaraj, for Swaraj, but here they were looking for some kind of a framework within the British Empire itself, self-government. Second tha, early nationalists believed in constitutional methods and they worked within the framework of the law. Whereas here they were much more assertive in their approach, they believed in breaking the law. Third, these people held good position within the British government. Whereas the assertive nationalists, they defied the British rule. उन्होंने British rule के against के खिलाफ आंदोलन किया. Early nationalists, they had faith in the British sense of justice and fair play. This is very important कि उनको लगता था कि अंग्रेज एक तरह से जस्टिस कानून के तहत ही काम करते हैं, लेकिन assertive nationalists ने they held British rulers directly responsible for the poverty in the country. Early nationalists को एक तरह से इंटेलिजेंसिया जो कि एजुकेटेड अपर क्लास लोग थे उनसे उनको समर्थन प्राप्त हुआ, लेकिन जो assertive nationalists थे उनको समर्थन प्राप्त हुआ masses द्वारा, लोगों द्वारा, which were in a large number. Then उसके साथ साथ जो early nationalists थे they were inspired by the ideas of western philosophers. जो यूरोप में जिस तरह की जो thinkers थे उनके जो आइडियाज थे उससे काफी प्रभावित हुए अर्ली नेशनलिस्ट. वेराज इंडियन नेशनलिस्ट वे इंडियन हीरोज को, असर्टिव नेशनलिस्ट इंडिया भारतीय हीरोज को सेलिब्रेट करते थे, जैसे कि छत्रपति शिवाजी हो, राणा प्रताप हो या चंद्रगुप्त विक्रमादित्य एटसेट्रा, उनको ज्यादा मानते थे. सो ये तो हुआ एज फार एज दी assertive nationalists के जो methodologies which were adopted and also the causes for the rise of assertive nationalists. भाग 3 में हम assertive nationalists की जितनी भी उपलब्धियां हैं, achievements हैं, उसके बारे में पढ़ेंगे और प्रमुख जो assertive nationalists थे बाल गंगाधर तिलक, बिपिन चंद्र पाल और लाला लाजपत राय, इन तीनों के बारे में पढ़ेंगे विस्तार से. Again, these are 3 people about who definitely a 2-mark question always comes. So this is again one part which you cannot afford to miss. You need to remember the achievements and whatever was done by Lal, Bal, Pal. That we will do in part 3. Thank you very much for watching.